What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And today, I'm going to be giving a life update and how I managed a schedule that was suboptimal during a fat loss phase and how my mindset has shifted from how it was in the past and why this week, although it wasn't perfect, didn't throw me off the rails. So anyway, before I dig in, I want to thank you for listening. It means a lot that you're spending however long this podcast is listening to me and hopefully getting a lot of insight and knowledge, hopefully. Hopefully I'm helping you on your health and fitness journey. So if you have enjoyed the podcast, if you could share it, rate the show, subscribe, that would help me help more people. So anyway, let's dig in. So, life update. This is a Sunday. This is being released tomorrow. So this is the day before. And I last minute did a road trip to California about a week and change ago. I think it was on August 1st or 2nd, that Friday. What is that? Yeah, I think that was August 1st. Let me check real quick. But yeah, so August 1st, we road tripped all the way to California. Yes, it was August 1st. And that was not in the schedule. That was not on plan. My husband's grandmother is in hospice, and the nurse who's been checking up on her said she only had a couple weeks left of life. So we wanted to make sure that my husband got plenty of time with her, just in case. So the day we found out, we tried to book a flight, but flights were absurdly expensive, even though it's like an hour and a half flight. I think it was like $750 a person. And so we were like, yeah, nope. Because we also have to rent a hotel to stay near his grandma. They don't have any guest rooms. So anyway, thankfully we live close enough to where we can drive, and it's like 12.5-hour drive or so. So we booked hotels, and then that next day we headed out, and we stayed there for about a week, and we got home yesterday. So I'm in the middle of a fat loss phase and training for a powerlifting competition that I'll be signing up for today. It's on November 1st. It's my first one. I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm also, as most people know listening to this, a business owner. And this past year has been quite hectic, to say the least, with my father-in-law's health problems, my husband's health problems, me leaving my stable job to build a business, getting a home, and all the other crap in between. So to say this year's been hectic has been an understatement. And things were actually kind of calming down, I'd say. And I'm one for structure. I'm very structured, habit, routine lady. So having to last minute shift my schedule, get out of the norm, that's really challenging for me. And especially in a fat loss phase, that's a huge struggle. We're staying in a hotel. We did not have access to a kitchen. We had a mini fridge, and boy did I make use of that. But yeah, no cooking material or cooking. I'm sorry, that didn't make sense. No kitchen. We had food. I guess food would be cooking material. But how did I navigate that? And where am I today? So today I weighed myself. I have not weighed myself the entire week. And I was up about a pound, maybe 2 pounds. I think it was like maybe like a pound and a half. And some people might be like, oh no, a pound and a half. Well, for context, even though I'm in a fat loss phase, this, you might call it a regression. But given what I did, and I will elaborate on that, it was like, actually, that's less than I thought would go up, given the inaccuracy of my tracking and my inability to hit my step count most days. So honestly, I'm pretty stoked with that number, with that weight on the scale, given I am in a fat loss phase. So, and I'll explain why. Well, one, going on vacation, it's very challenging to cook your own meals going out of town. And especially in this instance, right, we're spending as much time as we can with my husband's grandma and family that's nearby. So it's not about me. It's not about my fat loss goals. It's not about cooking. I mean, it's trying to plan a little bit and do the best you can, but it wasn't really about me. It's about my husband and his family and me being there for him. But despite that, I was still able to train. I hit all my training sessions. I completed client fulfillment. I was not super active on marketing front of the business, or today, Sunday, I've been working a lot to catch up, but that's okay. So nutrition was the biggest hurdle, I'd say, especially on the days where we were driving. There's a lot of traffic. So it was about 7 to 8 hours most those of the week that we were traveling to, I guess maybe it's 8 days. Of the 8 days we were traveling, 4 of those days were spent 6 or more hours in the car, usually closer to 7 or 8 hours. And that's also challenging when you're on the road trying to navigate that. But here's what I did. When we got there, I went to the grocery store. So I made sure I got some high fiber, high protein things. My go-to is always roast deli turkey, oven roasted deli turkey, because it's very lean. You get the 99% lean. You don't have to cook it. It's tasty enough. Rice cakes for carbs. I found the best flavored rice cake ever, the Quaker butter popcorn rice cake. It tastes like buttered popcorn. It is amazing. And berries. So I'll get raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, whatever's in season. And usually apples and baby carrots and snap peas, just to have easy, low effort fruits and vegetables that are high in fiber. I did pack my food scale, and we drove. So we drove down there, so that made it a little bit easier. We had plenty of room in the car for that thing, so that helped me make sure that when I was making my own meals, they were fairly accurate for the most part. And then the hotel, shout out to Fairfield Inn and Suites Hollister. They had a breakfast. The breakfast selection was very carb heavy, but they always had hard-boiled eggs. So every morning I'd have 5 hard-boiled eggs. I'd take one of their apples, and then I'd add a 20-gram mocha beverage thing. It's called like Slate. And it's got 20 grams of protein, and it's equivalent, the caffeine is equivalent to like 2 cups of coffee. So I'd have that, so I get 20 grams, and I get close to 30 grams of protein with the eggs. So starting the day with 50 grams, and then I'd have an apple and some raspberries usually. And so that would put me at close to 10 grams of fiber. So that's how I started my day. And then usually I'd work before breakfast, have breakfast, continue to work, knock out the other things. Then I'd go do my training session if I had it that day. If I didn't, I'd continue doing more work. And then for lunch, when I get back from my training session, I'd have rice cakes, deli turkey. Oh, I also forgot Greek yogurt. Those Oikos 20 grams of protein Greek yogurts, and snap peas and carrots and more berries. So kind of weird. But front loaded the day with protein because in the evenings we were hanging out with his grandma. She would wake up at noon, so we'd spend basically from noon till like 9 p.m. just hanging out over there, hanging out with family. It's really cool because his grandma actually, she doesn't have any cognitive decline, so she's almost 95, and she's extremely sharp. She remembers everything, like literally everything. You could ask her to tell a story from 60 years ago, and she could give you super detailed description of the story and where they were and all the things. So anyway, so spent basically the rest of the day with her, and then we didn't know what we'd do for dinner, so basically every night we went out to eat. And I kind of foresaw that. It's not about me. It would be easier for my goals for me to just cook my food, but I didn't want to be a burden to anybody. I didn't want to get in the way of what the point of the trip was. So I was like, hey, it's okay. I'll be fine. And we had a lot of burritos and pho, and they were delicious. But I'm glad to be eating food at home again. And yeah, and sleep, tried to keep my sleep schedule and eating schedule as dialed in as possible, and we did do that. And my husband was on board for that too. So if some people didn't want to eat earlier, we would just go and grab food and bring it back, and then we'd do that. And the sleep schedule too, yeah, tried our best. The AC in the hotel room was like very spotty, and so I had poor sleep almost every night. And that was a struggle when it came to hunger signals and cravings and other things. But I did pretty good on things considered. I didn't overindulge for the most part. There were like maybe 1 or 2 days I went over in calories. Well, I tried to track it. I was probably over all the days because it's really hard to estimate. You don't know how much oil the restaurants are using. You don't really know how big the tortilla is. You don't really know. So it's like I did my best, all things considered. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, the whole week stressful, driving out there, very tiring. Struggle to get steps in because, right, priority, hanging out with grandma. I would still go on walks, but some days I was a little short. On the days we drove, I don't think I got my step count most of the days. I got pretty close, but I was like maybe 8,000. Usually I'm 10 to 12 plus. So, a couple thousand below my usual, but still pretty good. Hydration was probably the thing I did the best during the trip. I was very hydrated. But yeah, old Emma would have been like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to give up. There's no way I can even manage to eat the foods that I need to. Let's just go out to eat and overindulge and all the things. But new Emma, me, I'm like, hey, there's a lot I can do. I have a mini fridge in the hotel. Let me stock it with fruits, vegetables, proteins. If I need to, I'll pack a protein shake when I go to Grammy's house. I packed popcorn. I love popcorn. As if you don't know that already, popcorn is my favorite food. Um, so I got some microwavable popcorn, so I could have some extra fiber in the afternoon if I needed it. Share that with my husband and whomever else wanted some. And then, yeah, I did my best with what I could, and I didn't beat myself up for it. As I said, there was a lot of things I missed the mark on. I overate a couple days. I I didn't go buck wild, which old Emma would have. Um, I definitely overdid it on the caffeine, I will say, and I'm feeling the repercussions of that now because I'm going back to my normal intake. And because of the poor sleep, I needed a boost. And my husband's aunt makes like really good pots of coffee, so it was just too easy. But anyway, I did not let the fact that there were things that weren't perfect derail me from doing what I could. I did the best with what I had, and I'm pretty proud of myself, all things considered. So, point being is, yeah, okay, that's life, right? Things come up. You can't perfectly manage everything, but do the best with what you can manage, and you'll get better results long term. And if you do screw up, that's okay. That's part of the process. So, that being said, I'm very proud of myself, all things considered. And trying to think of anything else. I got really great sleep last night, and I have not in a week, and that was awesome. But the reduction in caffeine is really killing me. So yeah, don't. And this is like, I'm not an athlete. Okay. I am an athlete, but I'm not a D1 athlete anymore. It's not my career to compete. I'm just doing this for fun. And so really, like, fitness now, it's meant to support my life. It's meant to support me and my health during these times when things aren't perfect. And that's why, like, having that all or nothing mindset doesn't serve you. What serves me is thinking, what can I do in this situation? Right? Because if you just think, oh, I can't do all these things, then you're just going to say, screw it, what's the point? But if you think, hey, what can I do? What can I manage? What can I control? Then you're taking ownership, right? And when you take ownership, you get better results. You follow through. You don't because there will always be things you can't control. But if you focus on that, then you're putting yourself in a victim mindset. Oh, this thing happened, so I can't do this. Why don't you think, oh, this is a boundary I have, but what can I do? Like, I didn't have a kitchen. What can I do? What could I do? I could go to the grocery store. I had a fridge. And if I didn't have a fridge, what would I have done? I probably would have had a lot of protein shakes. I would have figured it out, right? Because I prioritize my health because it helps me live a better and more enjoyable life. When I'm healthier, everything else around me is better. So, next time you're in a situation that's not ideal, don't think, oh crap, I can't do anything. What's the point? Think, what can I do given the circumstances? And your goals will continue to progress because you're not letting crap in the way of them. You're not letting crap get in the way. Anyway, as I said, I'm tired. So hopefully this was beneficial to you. And if it was, if you know you're at a point you're like, hey, I need some help. I need some accountability. I need some guidance. I keep getting in my own way. I can't get out of that all or nothing mindset. I keep going all in and giving up. I can help you. And if you want to see what that's like, you could book a discovery call below. I'm not going to pressure you into purchasing anything you're not ready for. Just going to chat about, hey, what are your goals? And can I help you? I can probably help you. So, click that link below to book a discovery call. I also have a free fat loss guide down there if you're not ready for one-on-one coaching. But anyway, if this was at all helpful, please rate the show, like, subscribe, and share it, because that helps me help more people. And yeah, thanks for listening if you made it to the end. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.